watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. Happy opening night of the college basketball season, and welcome to the brand new Moody Coliseum in Abilene, Texas, a building that is 2 years ready to go. Welcome courtside, everybody. Jackson State and Abilene Christian tonight. Zach Carlisle along with Andy Penny. Glad to have you with us. This building, they've been waiting for it for 2 years. It's finally here. This place is phenomenal.
Yeah, no doubt. Welcome home, Wildcats. Moody Coliseum, the longtime home of ACU basketball, is back after the 2-year renovation. It is a beautiful facility, Zach. We are in for an exciting night. If the game on the court matches the aesthetics of this building, it's going to be a fun night of basketball tonight.
It is a very exciting night. Let's talk a little hoops, shall we?
Yep.
Jackson State comes over from Mississippi. First-year head coach Mo Williams, and this is a very talented bunch.
Yeah, instant credibility for Jackson State with new head coach Mo Williams, a 14-year NBA career. He starts over with a roster. It's very much turned over this year for Jackson State, but a lot of excitement comes with this Tiger crew from Jackson. They'll be fun to watch tonight.
On the other side, it is year number 2 for Brett Tanner and these Wildcats, a year removed from an appearance in the WAC championship game.
Yeah, ACU finished so strong last year, made a great run in that WAC tournament to get to the championship game, fell just short. But Brett Tanner's first year as the head coach, a very successful year, and I look for more momentum for this ACU Wildcat team in Tanner's year number 2.
He's excited, and the buzz around this place is as electric as it's ever been. ACU TV talked to Coach Tanner and a couple of his players that they've been preparing for this moment on this night, November the 7th.
And all summer I was sneaking in here, in the middle of the night and just, seeing everything. And like, I can't wait to see what it's going to look like and to see it slowly kind of get revealed, into what it is. I mean, this place is amazing.
It kind of just resonates in your mind, everything that's been done beforehand in order to even get to this point, and credit the people who even worked on it, just the hard work that they put in. You just look at it like, this is just incredible. Like, we're truly blessed to even have something like this.
Yeah, being an old guy, you take a lot of pride in it. It's still hard to believe from what we've came from, and looking at it now, it's really top tier.
I already know it's going to be crazy. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. I already know fans are going to be loud. They're excited. I'm excited, for the first game. I already know they're going to bring tons of energy and tons of love.
Just to have it as a home, I think we truly have a home now. We're excited though. I hope it's packed. I'm sure it will be, and hopefully we'll put on a good show.
Well, hey guys, Jackson State University has recently put the athletic program on the national map with Deion Sanders head coaching football, and now former NBA All-Star Mo Williams begins his first year as the JSU head men's basketball coach. Williams, who brought a few talented players with him from Alabama State, looks to use the Tigers' tenacious defense to spoil Abilene Christian's season home opener tonight. Now let's throw it down to Connor Mullins for an injury update for the Wildcats.
The prized possession of head coach Brett Tanner's recruiting class, Ford Joe Pleasant, is out tonight due to a head and back injury. He spent the last year at Wichita State, and he is most well known at ACU for knocking down the free throws against the University of Texas to lift number 14 ACU over the Longhorns in the first round of the 2021 NCAA tournament. Preseason all-WAC selection Arion Simmons is in the starting 5 tonight and cleared from concussion protocol, and is a big addition at the Ford spot for the Wildcats. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I think you and I have talked about it. We just want to enjoy this opening night.
Yeah, no doubt the ticket value is going to be very high tonight. A great job by the renovation here at ACU to put on a family-friendly environment, an exciting environment, and the student body and the fan base here in Abilene has responded. A great crowd tonight. The aesthetics are great. The energy in the building is great. I anticipate much of the same on the court for these two teams tonight.
Jackson State out of the SWAC, Abilene Christian, second-year members of the WAC. They introduce their starting 5.
6'8" junior from Excelsior, Minnesota, number 5, Cameron Steele. At guard, a 6'5" senior from Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, number 11, Tobias Cameron. At 4, the 6'5" senior from Little Rock, Arkansas, number 23, Arian Simmons. And starting at guard, a 6'4" senior from Phoenix, Arizona, number 25, Emmanuel Allen. Assistant coaches for the Wildcats are John Twilley, Ken Grass, and Antonio Bostic. And entering his second season as a Wildcats head coach, Brett Tanner.
It doesn't really get any better than that. Abilene Christian, for the first time since March of 2020.
Century Plaza and Tuscany Village.
They closed the building down to start the renovations, and then the pandemic hit as well. And they spent 2 years over in the Teague Center waiting for this moment. And on November the 7th, 2022, that moment has arrived. Glad to have you with us tonight on ESPN Plus. Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Connor Mullins, Joseph Chapa, the whole gang. Basketball season is here. Jackson State controls the opening tap. Off we go from Abilene, Texas. Starting 5 for the visiting Tigers. Gabe Watson, they're lucky and very happy to have him back. Evans and Young as well. Mansell, the big fella, inside, and a nice spin move to take it in and get the scoring started. Abilene Christian will have it for the first time. Their starting 5 tonight. Damian Daniels, the veteran, the 5th year. He's got it, number 1. Steele, the big fella, inside. This is Tobias Cameron, who misses the opening 3. Simmons and Allen as well. And you heard Connor tell us that Arian Simmons, a game-time decision. He's in the lineup tonight for ACU.
That's a good start. All 5 on the court for ACU are veterans on this team. It's a team that brings back 60% of their scoring. They're on the floor as we get this thing started.
And this is the end everybody's excited to see, is this Jackson State offense with a lot of new faces under first-year head coach Mo Williams, and what's historically been, over the last few years, the best defense in all of college basketball.
ACU only gave up 67 points a game, one of the defensive leaders in that points per game category.
And a steal. A turnover gets the night started. Arian Simmons. The first points in the new arena with authority.
Immediately defense to offense. We just touched on it. That's Brett Tanner's MO as the head coach. He loves offense to start on the defensive end. You saw the first 2 in transition by Simmons.
Gabe Watson, he's got it. In front of a packed house tonight. Adams, rising fire.
We anticipate tempo tonight. We had a chance to talk to both head coaches, Coach Tanner, Coach Williams. They don't run and gun, but tempo will certainly be a thing. I don't think the shot clock will really come into play tonight.
Cameron on the block. Simmons has the dunk. His 3, no good. Cameron, offensive rebound, and it's poked free and a turnover. The Tigers want to run as well. And they give it away for the second time. Daniels, smallest guy on the floor tonight. At 5'7", he gets on the board. And a foul at this end on Daniels, going up against Chase Adams, the junior out of Chicago. Mo Williams, first-year head coach. Name sounds familiar. He's an NBA champion with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016.
Yeah, decorated NBA career, 14 seasons. He's a hometown boy. Jackson, Mississippi is his hometown. He is excited to be the head coach here at Jackson State as he took the job back in the spring, and a lot of energy. Of course, Deion Sanders and the football head coaching job there at Jackson State. Now a guy like Mo Williams on the basketball floor.
After spending 2 years at fellow SWAC school Alabama State, now comes over to Jackson State. Corner three. That is offline from Evans, junior, into rebound to Mansell. They want to get O boards tonight. Another look from the outside for Trace Young. Couldn't get it to go. Mo Williams told us one of his keys, offensive rebounds. They were able to get one there, but couldn't get it to go. Cameron Steele on the block. Emmanuel Allen, contact, and one.
Well, Zach, it's really our first time we've seen a half-court set here for ACU, and they're just able to get the ball back to Allen, top of the key, and he drives down the right side of the paint, draws the contact, makes the shot. Chance for a three-point play.
Well, there's been a lot that's happened here in the game's first 3 minutes. Allen, a redshirt senior out of Phoenix, Arizona. 4th year with Abilene Christian, but there's been a redshirt year, and then there's been a season basically lost to injury. And he's as healthy as he's ever been. And he puts ACU in front 6-2. Tigers scored the first basket of the game. On to drive, that's a blocking foul, and that's an and one for Gabe Watson, the transfer from Tulane.
Boy, a heck of a drive by Watson. First really half-court offensive set we've seen for Jackson State. And Watson, a guy who can light it up, averaging just shy of 15 a game last year before he was hurt. Only played 7 games last year for the Tigers before the injury. But a guy who can light it up. He's a player of the year type guy in the SWAC. And gets his first 2 tonight on a beautiful drive on the left side of the glass.
Yeah, his coach, Mo Williams, thinks very highly of him, and Watson will have the N1 free throw coming up as subs came into the ball game. Jay-Sean Jackson and Leonardo Bettiel came in for ACU, and the free throw good for Watson. Last year shot at 77% at the foul line.
Seeing our first substitutions here, Zach, and when you're early in a season, you know, Coach Tanner even told us he didn't know what his rotations would be. You'll get into some situations where game might dictate that, but wanted to trust his veterans, and now he'll extend the bench with some new names.
Simmons offline. Zeke Cook, number 1, has checked in for Jackson State. Pull up Jay. No good for Watson. Good looking jumper. He is going to be very electric in one-on-one situations tonight. Jay-Sean Jackson, an extra step out there, no good. And can the Tigers push up against one of the great defensive transition teams in the entire country? Mansell, extra pass, pull up Jay, Adams can't hit.
That's a good look for Adams, just left it short after the shot fake, stepped in, missed from 17.
Jackson State 2 for their first 7 tonight.
Rebounds will be a key. Simmons a good defensive rebound.
Backdoor cut. Cameron kept the pivot foot. It'll be tapped free. Out of bounds it goes. Our first timeout in a packed house in Moody Coliseum. ACU in front early on. Back in Moody Coliseum. Time for our keys to the game, presented by your Greater Texas Ford dealers.
Well, Zach, you've already heard from Jackson State. Momentum. Coach Mo Williams. Instant credibility for Jackson State. Can this program get under their first-year head coach? And pack your bags. Jackson State's first 14 games are on the road. Their entire non-conference schedule. Can they get used to playing on the road? They start tonight. For ACU, hey, again, we talked about it. We're going to see different rotations on the floor. If you're in, if those 5 are in, can they make plays for Brett Tanner and company?
Speaking of Brett Tanner, 25 wins in year number 1, all the way to the WAC title game. And I'm telling you what, they love this guy at ACU. He is the right man for the job.
Defensive-minded Brett Tanner. It was a streaky year last year, an 11-game win streak. There was a 5-game losing streak in there in WAC play for the Wildcats, and you wondered, Can Coach Tanner get them out of that funk? And he did a great run in the WAC tournament all the way to the championship game last year.
Into the game for Jackson State is number 31, Jamarcus Jones. This is Watson offline. Oh, the putback almost. Third chance, Zeke Cook. The O boards were one of the major points of emphasis for Mo Williams tonight.
And 2 extra opportunities, able to get the bucket.
Cameron has the first triple. Tobias Cameron coming off of a career year. 17 starts all last season in his career. Spectacular Wildcat. Turnover. And back to the Cameron 3. They really like the 6th-year guy out of Australia.
31% last year from behind the arc. He's a guy, he and Damian Daniels, the 2 still in the program that were a part of both NCAA tournament teams here for ACU. Wildcats will need his leadership and experience and offense this year.
Emmanuel Allen, that's a catch and shoot 3. Abilene Christian, 1 for their first 5 from downtown. Watson on the attack, and it's a charge. Offensive foul. Not many better teams at doing that defensively than ACU. And they take their first charge of the season.
That's Emmanuel Allen. And help defense right there in the paint. Great job. He's outside the defensive arc there in the paint. Turnover number 4. It's the MO, as we've talked about for Brett Tanner and company. It's all about defense. And already just 6 minutes deep, 4 turnovers forced by the Wildcat defense.
6 minutes into the night. Abilene Christian finished as the 6th seed in the WAC a year ago, and then won 3 games in 3 days, lost on the 4th day in the title game. Cameron Steele on the 3, that's no good, and Jones comes up with it for Jackson State. Driving Colty Young and gives it off, and that 3 offline from Jamie Mitchell Jr. Allen, a second look, hits this. ACU in front by 5.
Off the defensive rebound and push in a hurry. Allen the trailer. Nobody picks him up. Wide open look from the left wing.
Adams with Daniels defending. And that'll be foul number 2 on Damian Daniels. His second one at this end. Abilene Christian subbing once again. Cameron returns, and checking in for the first time is the junior transfer Hunter Jack Madden, who came over from Otero College, the JUCO. He's going to get his first minutes as a Wildcat.
And these become critical moments. Coach Tanner told us, he said, I need my coaching staff to remind me I can't just rely on the guys that I know and trust. We've got to build capacity within our roster.
These early November games, the way to do that. Catch and shoot, no good from Colty Young. Jackson State's 0 for 4 from distance. And a foul at this end on Young. So a Starkville, Mississippi native misses the 3 and then is called for the foul at this end.
Entering the game for the Tigers, number 1, Zeke Cook. Foul is on the floor. It'll be ACU ball.
Well, this is a Jackson State roster that I hate to say is a full turnover, but a lot of new names, many points to have to fill from new players. They only average 60 points a game this year. It's a different feel for Coach Williams and really a different roster. He talked about over the course of the last 4 months of how he's built this roster. Of course, the transfer portal helps. The name Jackson State obviously helps. That's a nationally known name, very popular for players to come to. And then you get a coach with 14 years of NBA experience. He said the recruiting process has been fairly easy for him over the course of the last 4 or 5 months.
Allen looking for his second triple. Yeah, and Mo Williams said, I don't want it to just be I don't want you to just come here because my name is Mo Williams. We want to get the guys who deserve to be here and want to make this program great. Zeke Cook. I don't know how that one rolled over the top, but it did.
And a great drive and dish by Evans for the assist.
Jackson on the attack, and he's fouled by Young. Jay-Sean Jackson, a sophomore out of San Antonio. They're expecting him to take big leaps from year 1 to year 2. Comes up shaking a little bit.
Wildcats right now just spreading the floor, playing really the perimeter in all 5 positions, trying to dribble drive and then dish out back to the perimeter for the next guy to dribble drive, or if the three-point shot is open, they've taken the three-point shot. But a lot of penetration off the dribble tonight for the Wildcats. It's proved successful thus far.
Brett Tanner telling us too that we had to get a little bigger, and not necessarily inside. We needed to get a little bigger at the guard position because of the way that the Western Athletic Conference is played. There are big players everywhere, and ACU was definitely one of the smallest teams in the country a season ago. Jay-Sean Jackson at the line, hits them both. ACU back up by 5. Low scoring to get things started. 8 minutes in. Mansell very excited about this kid as well. The transfer from Long Beach State. Oh, he's denied by Jackson.
Great help defense in the block.
He's going to try to do it himself. He does. Coast to coast. Timeout, Jackson State. Back in Moody Coliseum, Abilene Christian in front by 7 as you peek at some of the artwork around the interior of this phenomenal building. That was a moment in 2021 that no one at ACU will ever forget.
Was that the most famous picture in ACU basketball history?
It's gotta be up
Joe
there.
Pleasant making the 2 free throws right at the end to beat the University of Texas. Round 1 of the NCAA tournament in Indianapolis. You were there that day, right?
We were there that day. It was one of the most unique tournaments ever. Sure enough, ACU is the 14 seed 2 seasons ago. Beat the 3rd seed and Big 12 tournament champion Texas Longhorns in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. And then last year, they make a run all the way to the WAC title game and nearly go back to the NCAA tournament. They're on the greatest run in the history of the program here at ACU. Boy, it's pretty fun to watch. Jackson State out of the timeout. Mo Williams wanted his guys to regroup, trailing by 7, their largest deficit tonight. At this end, they're shooting 33%. Backdoor! A wonderful pass, and then the finish. It's able to rim home for Ken Evans Jr.
Great design of a play coming out of a timeout. ACU with the momentum. The great play by Jackson, the block on one end, the layup on the other. Coach Williams calls the timeout. Let's reset. Let's draw up a play. Perfect execution for the Tigers.
Allen, he's been busy here in his first half. Ball tapped away and recovered over there by Jamie Mitchell Jr. Mitchell, a guy who came over to Jackson State with his head coach, Mo Williams from Alabama State.
Wildcats have extended man-to-man defense on the floor.
Baseline charge. Offensive foul number 2 tonight on the Tigers.
That's Hunter Jack Madsen's time, who takes the charge and helped defense of his teammate, Ali Dibba, who got beat on the baseline. Madden, a great job at help defense. Already the 2nd charge taken by the ACU defense tonight, which go as Jackson State turnovers. That's turnover number 5 here for the Tigers.
You saw big number 3, Leonardo Betty, will check in for ACU as well. Out of Italy, redshirt freshman. Did not see the floor a year ago for Abilene Christian. And number 20, Ali Dibba. You mentioned him briefly, Andy, the Sweden and Chicago State transfer out there for ACU. Jackson nearly gave it away. 8 to shoot it. Dibba, late shot clock, gets it back and misses a couple of opportunities.
First time felt like the Wildcats a little disjointed on the offensive end. Again, that's early game rotations and trying to figure each other out on the floor.
Ken Evans Jr. no good on the 3. Jackson State 0 for 5 tonight. Hunter Jack Madden, no.
And even there, Zach felt a little early in the shot clock, did not allow that offensive possession to really sustain itself and get set up. Madden shot it pretty quick.
Another three-point try. Trace Young, the lefty offline. Stay at this end. Subs in for both sides. Chase Adams returns for the Tigers. Cameron and Daniels back in for Abilene Christian.
Coach Williams told us today his 3 keys for the game. Shoot 45% tonight. Jackson State currently at 33. No turnovers, and when he says no turnovers, let's keep it to about 10 or 12 per game. Currently they're at 5. And then own the boards, the offensive rebounds. Currently in the rebounding category, they do lead in that 12-9.
Oh, inside, that was blocked away by Cameron. Takes it from Trace Young. Oh, and it's out of bounds on that side. Cameron was on the white line.
Out of bounds on the Wildcats.
So both teams in scoring droughts that are over 2 minutes now. Got a Jackson State defense that gave up 64.5 per game a year ago, and Andy mentioned just shy of 68 points per game for ACU.
This game's starting to settle into more of a half-court set. Who can adjust, run some offense, make some plays, make some shots.
Offline from Evans Jr., tapped free, second chance. Another look, Trace Young. Boy, they can't buy one from deep early on.
Yeah, same thing, Zach. That's a good look, but maybe early in a shot clock. See if you can get something a little more high percentage. The Tigers struggling 0 for 7 from behind the arc.
Simmons, the preseason first team all-WAC player for ACU, number 23. Cameron's already hit one. He hits another.
That is Cameron for 3.
Foul at this end. It's on Leonardo Benio of ACU.
And again, look, good offensive set here. You get a screen, you get a screen, and as Tobias comes up top of the key, Arion with a nice screen to get him open, and Tobias had all sorts of time to eye that one up and rock and fire, and he drills it.
Hit just 19 threes a year ago. He's got 2 on opening night. Trace Young, the lefty. He's gonna rattle it home. 6'8". They love this kid, the redshirt senior, who came over again with his head coach from Alabama State.
He can fill it up, a career high of 29. He recognized Simmons had come over to try to take a charge. The jump stop and shot.
How about that, Simmons? His second basket tonight. They weren't sure if he was going to go with that concussion. He's in the lineup and looking really good. They do want to limit his minutes, however, on opening night, and he's going to be called for a foul here. Much to his dislike. It's going to take us to a timeout. ACU's in front by 8 free throws coming up.
Tonight's the first time in 2 years ACU has played in Moody Coliseum before playing in the Teague Center due to renovations. The last time ACU played in this Coliseum was on March 3rd, 2020 in a bat-infested Coliseum in a 77-72 loss to SFA. Nearly 3,000 fans packed out Moody that night, with former Wildcats forward Clay Gaiman leading all Wildcats with 17 points. SFA's perimeter defense was on lockdown as ACU only shot 16.7% from 3. We'll see if ACU can continue to shoot the ball better tonight. And guys, back to you.
Connor, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you're talking 2.5 years ago that they last played in this building, March the 3rd, and what people also forgot, there was a whole bunch of bats flying around that night. They are so blessed and happy to be back in this building.
Boy, it's great, and that seems like an eternity ago.
It really
if you
does.
think what our country has gone through the last 2.5 years, but Man, the renovations are fantastic. If you'll remember, that was the Stephen F. Austin team who had beaten Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium earlier that year. Festive atmosphere that night, just like tonight. Boy, what a great crowd tonight.
On another tie, Brett Tanner was coaching at Stephen F. Austin before he came over to ACU as well. So a lot of memories from 2 years ago. Yeah, that feels like a pandemic ago.
And then some.
Free throw's good for Chase Adams.
Little pressure here for Jackson State. Just eating up some shot clock more than anything.
Interior, it's Simmons. He's going to pull up mid-range. Easy money for number 23.
Well, good recognition there by ACU. Defensive change, 1 3/4 court pressure, but also a zone defensive look for the first time for the Tigers. ACU recognized it. They changed their offensive set. Good look for Simmons in the paint.
Oh, Chase Adams, he's got it stolen. Oh, and then Simmons bounced it off of his leg. But UOC guys in transition, so's Jackson, and he's going to shoot 2. Late whistle. There was a little bit of chaos there. Trace Young called for the foul.
Arion on the offensive end. He does it on the defensive end with the steal. And credit here for the Wildcats running the play. Guy, the trailer in transition, dishes it off. Jackson misses the shot, but he's fouled. He'll go shoot 2. That's a hustle play. Defense to offense. And, you know, the first push by Simmons, he loses control of it, but the rest of the Wildcats running the floor well. They get Jackson to the free throw line.
For a second there, I thought Simmons was going to try to bring the house down with a dunk in transition before he was bounced it off of his leg as Allen jumps back in for ACU. Jackson, a sophomore out of San Antonio. Karen Wagner, high school second-year Wildcat, a true sophomore. No good on both. 83% last year at the foul line. Goes 0 for 2 there.
He misses the Teague Center, huh?
Yeah. Corner pocket, no good on the 3. It's been an up and down shooting night so far for Gabe Watson. Travel on Cameron.
Traveling violation called on the Wildcats of the Tigers ball.
You would think Jackson State's going to find their shooting stroke here pretty quick. Just 6 of 20 out of the shoot. They're finding good looks. They're just not finishing. Currently 0 for 8 from behind the three-point line.
On to drive, another foul. Ken Evans Jr. on the attack, and the foul is going to go on UOC Guy of Abilene Christian.
That's his first of the game.
And that's how the Tigers are going to get back in this game. They've got to attack the rim, get to the free throw line. Evans does a nice job. Evans, the returning leading scorer from a year ago, but just 7.5 points a game. That shows you how inexperienced, at least in Jackson State uniforms, this roster is. But again, Coach Williams has flipped over the roster. These guys will gel. Again, their first 14 games are on the road this year. You talk about getting to know each other. 1 on the court and 2 away from it. First 14 are on the road. That's right. They don't play their first home game until January.
Ken Evans Jr. and Coach Williams was so excited about him. 6'5", 200-pound redshirt sophomore, calls him the all-purpose guy, and he just never hurts you. Always puts you in good positions. Gets Jackson State back within 6. Half-court set. Hunter, Jack, Madden, no. High bounce, and a foul on the rebound attempt. It's going to go on Allen.
We'll walk the floor. This team foul number 7. So bonus 1-and-1 situation here. And again, this is where Jackson State will have a chance to get back in the basketball game if they get to the free throw line. Take advantage of being in the bonus the last 6:03.
So it's a 1-and-1. It's coming up for Ramel Mansell, Los Angeles native. Comes over from Long Beach State, and when he would put his name in that transfer portal, they said there was a lot of folks after him. That talent that he's got, standing at 6'9", and can stretch the floor. maybe didn't know the South very well, but knew the name Jackson State, and they're very happy to have him there in Mississippi.
It's 4 in a row from the Tigers, all from the charity stripe.
And they're 1 for their last 7 from the field, and so they are very happy and content to get to the foul line. 10 to shoot it for Abilene Christian. Allen. It's Cameron. He hits it! A chance at a 4-point play. It's his 3rd triple.
Little smile on the face as he pops up off the floor.
There was a foul on the Tigers on the
4th 3 of the night. 3rd for Tobias.
That's his first of the game, team foul.
ACU fortunate, and that's not much movement as far as dribble drive or screen away from the ball or even on ball. Just a lot of passing around the perimeter. Tobias finishes it off, though, with a good-looking 3 from there in the corner.
Almost the 4-point play. How's his night going? Pretty well. My goodness. 7-point lead. Once again for ACU. Mansell, puts it on the bounce, couldn't finish it. Second chance, that got blocked away from Zeke Cook. Interior defense going well. Transition layup missed at point blank range from Deba. Deba played against Abilene Christian a couple of times as a member of Chicago State last year.
What a good pass.
Wonderful pass finish from Evans.
A nice backdoor pass, Mansell to Evans.
Jackson State right in this thing in the first half. Sometimes you play at ACU and you get blown out in the first half of games. Daniels, rise and fire.
Daniels.
Watson hesitates. Deep. And Daniels bumped here by Adams. Been pretty physical back and forth
It has. You know, in this stage of the season, typically defense is ahead of offense. You know, just not in a rhythm of shooting the basketball well, although Damian hits a good-looking shot right there. But the physicality, you know, loose balls, getting on the floor, creating turnovers defensively is usually what can carry a team successfully early in a season, just as the offense tries to get into a rhythm. And thus far, yeah, the physicality's been great on both ends.
I think there's a lot of important players for ACU back, obviously. Maybe none more than Daniels at the guard spot, because graduating the 3 starting seniors from a year ago, they're more experienced inside than they are on the perimeter for Abilene Christian.
Yeah, you might be right.
Coming up at the half, the ESPN Halftime Report, Coy Oslenko and Carpenter at his studio. ACU TV feature on a renovation of Moody Coliseum. And we break down the first half with highlights and analysis. All coming up on the ESPN Halftime Report.
And Zach, to go back to that point, to finish that point, with the likes of Reggie Miller, Makai Morris, Corian Mason, who have been long-time standing names in this Wildcat program, all 3 are now gone. The backcourt is thin. It starts with Damian Daniels and his experience, and can he bring the young guys around?
Ball in the air. Stolen. Dibba got his hand on it. Steele ends up taking it away. Now Dibba, reverse. Oh, that was smooth.
And I'll tell you, Zach, that's, you can call that transition, but really that's spreading the floor well, finding the open man, dribble drive, penetration, finishing at the rim.
Oh, maybe a travel. Well, more importantly, hopefully Ken Evans is okay. He came up a little hobbling. That ball takes it away. Timeout on the floor. Abilene Christian, their largest lead of 11, 2021 champs.
All right, fans, it's now time for you to get on your feet, make some noise for the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Tuesdays on ESPN Plus, get in-depth coverage of all things Abilene Christian men's basketball. It's the Brett Tanner Show, presented by ACU TV every Tuesday at noon Eastern. 11 a.m. Central on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. Abilene Christian's got their largest lead of 11. They're on a 6-0 run over the last minute. And a chance for more.
Of course, Zach, these games played in 4-minute segments, courtesy of media timeouts. This last 4 of the first half, first 4 of the second half, always critical. Let's see how both teams finish out this first half.
Simmons, yes!
Simmons for 3.
Separation now for the Wildcats with under 3 to play.
We're really impressed how well the Wildcats shooting the 3-point shot tonight. Jackson State's most success has come off the dribble drive of Chase Adams. They can get the ball in his hands, let him penetrate and create.
Little floater with the one hand from Zeke Cook. Unable to go. Under 30% shooting tonight for the Tigers. It's a 12-2 run in almost 3 minutes. Oh, add to that. Cameron Steele stretches from the outside.
Cam's got the versatile game. He can shoot it from 25 in. Great footwork. He's good with the dribble. He's got the post game too. Cam Steele something special.
Off of the leg of Adams.
How quickly did this go to 17, Zach?
I feel like I blinked.
Man alive.
Crazy. 12-0 run. 6 triples in the first half for ACU. Two minutes to go in half number 1 on opening night. On the attack, Hunter Jack Madden. Welcome to Abilene Christian.
Success tonight has not only been the 3-point line, but also spreading the floor around the perimeter and being better with the offensive dribble, getting the step around the defense. That time it's Madden who attacks, the nice little floater, and a chance for a 3-point play for the junior transfer who played for assistant coach Ted Crass.
So Ted Crass was at ACU, leaves to go be the head coach at Otero Junior College, has Hunter Jack Madden with him. Coach Crass takes the job back as the assistant at ACU, brings Hunter Jack Madden with him.
That's a pretty good guy to have his U-Haul attached to your truck, making a name for himself.
This place is hopping.
Look how extended this man-to-man defense is.
That's a charge.
Offensive foul called on the Tigers on number 10.
They can't have enough fun. 96 seconds till the half, and the lead is 20.
That foul put the Wildcats in the double bonus for the remainder of the first half.
Minute 36.
That's a third charge here in the first half. Again, it goes as a turnover, 9 turnovers now for Jackson State.
So that is foul number 10, but it's not a double bonus free throw because it was a player control offensive foul. So that does not turn into the automatic foul shots. Foul at this end, and this will be a 1-and-1 variety for Jackson State coming up. They're trying to snap a 15-0 run here in the last 3 minutes. This thing was 26 to 21. Now it's 41-21.
Well, the floodgates just opened courtesy of the 3-point shot. We've seen Tobias Cameron in the corner, Cam Steele on the opposite side. I mean, the 3-point shot is just falling. And Jackson State just can't buy a bucket. They're 7 for 7 at the line. It's their first one. That's the broadcaster jinx right there, their first miss at the free throw line. You take away their success at the free throw line, this thing's even worse here in the first half in the last 2 minutes.
Out of bounds on the Wildcats.
Stays at this end for the Tigers, the minute 20. Right off the inbound. It's a long 2 for Gabe Watson. And they're going to be really excited to have him back for a full season back from the injury.
Yeah, he had something special going last year at 15 points a game before he was hurt after just 7 games. He'll be something special.
Foul at this end.
Foul called on the Tigers.
Well, Tobias just does a nice job of getting the defender off of the floor with the shot fake. Leans in, draws the contact, he'll get to the free throw line.
So Cameron to the line. 62 ticks till halftime.
You know, he made a big transition from a bench role to a starting role mid-season last year. Do-it-all type of guard. You know, special story coming over from Australia. If you haven't heard the accent, it's worth having a conversation with Tobias. And again, a 6th-year member of this team, courtesy of some COVID rules and some other things, and he's been something special here in Abilene.
Well, he's having himself a first half, huh?
Entering the game for ACU,
Double digits, he's the game high.
Steele. And number 23, Ariel.
He's got 10.
Simmons. Also entering for the Tigers, number 13, Ramel Mansell.
Well, 62 seconds. And Jackson State needing a positive before halftime. Nine turnovers, and they're shooting at 31% from the floor, and they give it away again.
Boy, just turned it over in the hand. Call it on Watson for another turnover. They had spread the floor. They were going to allow him to go one-on-one on the right side, but just gets the turnovers. He carried it over in his hand.
47 seconds. I tell you what, the atmosphere here is electric. I mean, it's just unlike anything. You can't replicate this. And this is what's been missing over the last couple of years. Now, ACU was spectacular at a Teague Center. Just 3 losses in 2 seasons. But this environment back here is really what puts ACU back over the top.
And it certainly creates the fan experience back here at Moody, a facility that's a fantastic facility, opened in 1968, but the renovations now with the lighting you see and the video boards and, of course, the loud music and the things that make the fan experience so good. The game's good enough in itself. The fan experience is that much higher now back here in Moody Coliseum. It's been a fun first half tonight.
Allen, he hits ACU's 7th 3 of the first half. Oh, look at that. Acrobatics with a rim rattler for Mansell. It stops a 19-2 run.
And a highlight reel there. Good drive by Evans. Recognition. Mansell running the baseline for the alley-oop.
Should be it for the first half. ACU will hold.
Yep, shot clock is off.
Simmons. No. That'll take us. This is good if it goes. It is deep from Watson. It's halftime. Abilene Christian in front, 45-26. Coy and Cohen in the studio. Guys, it's the ESPN Halftime Report. All yours.
Welcome inside the studio. Halftime Report, ESPN Plus. Coy Oslin, Cohen Carpenter. We're going to talk a little bit about basketball here in the halftime show. But Cohen, what has been your first thoughts from this game so far?
I mean, when you look at it from the Wildcats' perspective, they were struggling with offense coming into the season because they lost a lot of their top scorers, but they certainly haven't lost it here tonight. Finishing the half with a 19-4 run, it looks like they've still got it from 3 and inside the paint.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. We've seen explosive offense from ACU. Stick with us. We'll be right back with the ESPN Plus Halftime Report. Back inside the studio, Coy Oslin, Cohen Carpenter, talking halftime Division I basketball. It's already time for that this season. Cohen, what have you seen from these two teams?
Yeah, man, first game of the season, and I think these are two teams that are really trying to find their identity. On one half, you've got the ACU squad, a lot of returners, and that's mostly who they played there in the first half. And on the other half, you have the Jackson State, and I think they're kind of trying to follow the formula of the football team, going out and hiring a stud head coach and then moving on from there.
Yeah, time now for the first half stats brought to you by First Bank Texas, building strong homes, businesses, and friendships since 1880. Cohen, looking at the numbers, what we saw for both sides, ACU scoring is still going, like you said, 7 threes in the first half.
Yeah, they've really gotten it done from downtown, and this is more or less a continuation of what we've seen last season. Like we said, a lot of starters, and Tobias Cameron has led the team in scoring, and he's led the team from 3, and we saw that last season, and again, he's continuing it here so far.
And looking at Jackson State, what have you seen from them?
Well, Jackson State, I guess you could say quite the opposite. Their defense was good opening the first half. They managed to keep that ACU offense in check, but ever since, and if you look at those points right there, 0 for 9 from three-point land, that's not going to get it done, especially when you're playing an elite offense like ACU. Talking about ACU's defense, basically the same from last season. They have a lot of turnovers, and they're playing a lot of good pressure on this Jackson State offense.
And you've seen that on both sides of the ball. What do you think about ACU and Jackson State going into the second half?
Going into the second half, obviously, if you're the Wildcats, you expect more of the same. Apply pressure, and then maybe if you get a build enough of a lead, throw some of those new guys in, see a little more of that talent. Jackson State just got to get it going from three-point land.
Well, our coworker and friend Emily Schaefer, she got to sit down with Kevin Campbell, Senior VP for Operations for ACU, about the new Moody Coliseum. Let's check it out.
Can you tell me a little bit about when plans to renovate Moody first began?
So really around the season that we played Kentucky, the conversation was really starting. So we started trying to get some high-level planning just to kind of see what would it cost, what would the shape of this thing be. All those conversations were happening in 2019. In 2020, we actually decided, okay, hey, we're going to renovate Moody. Obviously, the very unique thing that happened during that time frame was COVID. And with our students not being able to access chapel the same way because of the COVID restrictions, we were then asked to speed up the timeline.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your specific role in this renovation process?
In particular, on this one, oversee major construction projects, but also trying to recognize that Moody is such a multi-purpose event center that there's not a single owner of this facility. So a substantial part of my role was trying to coordinate across all the different users of the space to make sure that we built something that was really good for all the users that would be using the space.
What were some of the biggest challenges that arose from this process?
There were so many challenges. Starting a construction project 4 months ahead of schedule, that took a substantial amount of rework, to dealing with construction inflation and the supply chain difficulties. This was the first indoor arena in the world with the seating bowl that was installed here, and there's so many complexities there, but there were so many challenges with this one.
What are some of your favorite redesigns of the new Moody?
Yes, oh my goodness. This north lobby is one of my favorites. The mannequins, the display, just the feeling when you walk in, the Rulon wood ceiling, you know, the ACU, you know, letters here. This north lobby is one of my favorites. Really proud of, I think, the way that we did the locker rooms. Try to add a real Division I collegiate feel for our athletes. Try to impress, not only give them a really cool place to be, but impress recruits when they come in.
What are you looking forward to as basketball season starts to approach?
One of the things I'm really looking forward to is just the game day experience. You know, seeing the coaches and the players, see how they respond to all the fans. Really optimistic about the way that the ACU community and the city of Abilene is going to support and show up and hopefully pack out Moody, and just the energy that can be created by a full arena, and hopefully the home court advantage that provides our team.
(45-25), Abilene Christian in front at the half. Second half is coming up in just a moment, but before we do that, let's send it over to Joseph Chapa to talk more about Moody Coliseum.
Thanks, guys. The transition from the Teague Special Events Center to now newly renovated Moody Coliseum is more than its exterior beauty. Standing here in the state-of-the-art team room you can start to feel the feeling of what a great facility can have on a program. Head coach Brett Tanner said on Monday during his ESPN Plus Coaches Show that they are just grateful to even have this new facility and, of course, now have a new locker room. From a film room, new training tables, a team room, and, of course, a great hardwood floor, ACU can match their great play with a great facility. Guys, back to you.
Joseph, thank you very much. And yes, this place really, truly is incredible. And we have taken you through all the festivities and all of the amenities throughout the night. 20-point lead here at the break as we say welcome courtside, everybody. Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny. Well, as we talk a little bit of basketball, how about this first half? This game was close. It was a 5-point ACU lead, and now they lead by 20 at halftime.
Holy cow, it happened in a hurry, Zach. A 15-0 run right there in the last few minutes of the first half. It was the three-point shot. ACU had 7 in the first half compared to 0 for Jackson State. And then, of course, turnovers. That's what ACU is so well known for. 10 Jackson State turnovers in that first half. It led to transition points. Because of that, all of that combined, 45-25, ACU by 20 here at the break.
I mean, yeah, the shooting in alone is the difference in this game. And yeah, there's been turnovers too, but the biggest thing, no doubt, 7 threes for Abilene Christian. And again, shooting 55% from the floor. I'm excited to see these first few minutes of the second half, but Abilene Christian firmly in front, and I just think those last maybe 5 minutes or whatever that first half, I wasn't expecting that because it was really tightly contested there for a long time here in this first half.
I think what you saw is you saw some veteran leadership in a Wildcat team as the game settled in. Of course, nerves and adrenaline kind of pumped in the first few minutes, and as the game started to settle in, you saw some execution of half-court offense. You saw defense lead to transition offense, and of course the perimeter shooting for ACU. The combination of all of those things is what watched this lead swell to 20 points. Here in the second half, you know, there's still, 20 minutes to play and still win and loss obviously up for grabs, but I think more importantly for both teams, it's an opportunity to get better over the next 20 minutes. Let's go in, let's talk about how the first half went, and for both teams, there are still things to correct. Opportunity over the next 20 minutes to do that.
Mo Williams, the head coach at Jackson State, and one of the emphasis he told us, he said, yes, we want to win every game that we play, no question, but if we come out of each game better than what we were going into it, that's what we want in November and December, because the ultimate goal is to play where you're best when March rolls around. Second half underway. Abilene Christian starts with it. And before they do that, the clock has to start. Seems important.
We could be here all night.
That's right. Brett Tanner looking on as well. His team's built up that 20-point advantage. Mo Williams, a part of that 2003 NBA draft. Drafted by Utah, played for a whole bunch of teams in his illustrious NBA career. And then finally won that championship with Cleveland in 2016 when they came back from 3-1 down to beat Golden State.
I gotta tell you, we had a very pleasant conversation with him. He, after their shoot around today, he visited with us for 20 minutes at a time, and just a very pleasant conversation. Tiger fans, you are in good hands with Mo Williams as your leader.
And the 2003 draft class was pretty good, wasn't it? I mean, his longtime teammate LeBron James in that class, and Dwayne Wade, and all the others. I mean, my goodness. We should have asked him how long LeBron's going to actually play for. It's going to be a long time. They're having a clock issue, and so it looks like they finally were able to take a couple of seconds off. They actually were having some clock problems at halftime. It stopped at about 11 and a half minutes for a while, and they tried to get that fixed too. So the officials come over and tell us, hey, it's not their fault.
Any chance to put blame somewhere else, the officials are going to do that.
Even Brett Tanner over at the scorer's table, he's laughing about it too. They just want to be in New Moody as long as they can tonight. They want to enjoy every ounce of this. It just felt like it was going to be forever until basketball season was finally here. But boy, it went by pretty quickly. November the 7th, finally here to open up the season.
And I think the anticipation of this thing has just been through the roof great.
These guys have been ready in the studio. Hutton Harris, Tom Searle, the whole ACU TV gang, student-run crew that puts our games together all season long. And we've been doing this in a tennis court for 2 years. Back to where it belongs in Moody Coliseum. This building opened originally in 1968. And they put it under renovation in 2020, and it's back.
A little well-known fact, the first game, 1968, February 27th of 1968. You think about that, like February.
That's late in the season.
Yeah, it was the very last game of the season.
Wow.
Where ACU finally finished construction of Moody Coliseum. They had promised some recruits and players that you'll play in Moody Coliseum, and they got to for one game.
They didn't want to wait till the next fall. We will see you Wednesday night. Join us for WAC basketball on ESPN as the women's season gets underway when Abilene Christian opens up 2022 with a matchup against Division III's Howard Payne University. Tip-off at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on ESPN+. And the ESPN app, Julie Goodenough, opens year number 11 as the ACU head coach. And if she wins the game Wednesday night, it's her 200th win at ACU, the long-tenured head coach of a very good women's program at Abilene Christian.
She's something special here in the big country, not just her time here at ACU, but of course across town at Hardin-Simmons. She played here locally at Haskell, and yeah, she is something special. That'll be fun on Wednesday night as they get their season underway, and big-time expectations for year number 2 in the WAC for the Lady Wildcats.
They are still having some clock stuff, and we are going to step aside here in Moody Coliseum. 2 seconds into the half. We'll start the second half coming up in a moment. ACU's up 20 here in Abilene, Texas. We think the second half's coming up in just a moment.
Our early lead.
Well, we think the second half is going to get started here in just a little bit. They're having some major clock issues here in the new arena, so trying to sort that all out. And while they do that, we'll send you courtside. Welcome. Zach and Andy here hanging out during this kind of hiatus as we kind of wait and see how things go here. But I tell you what, nobody's not having any fun here in the arena. They are having all kinds of fun dancing and hanging out, and Moody Coliseum, it's quite the place.
Well, I was about to say maybe the clock's not working, but the sound system's working. The lights are working, the flashing lights. No pyrotechnics yet, but this thing has a great atmosphere. It helps to have a 20-point lead here as we start the second half, but boy, just a festive atmosphere here at Moody Coliseum.
What impressed you the most about that first half there? I think a lot of people are going to say, wow, 45 points in the first half for ACU. And there's a lot to like, but I mean, they really, really impressed me here on opening night.
Well, the three-point shooting, obviously, as you look 7 of 16 in the first half. Tobias Cameron had 3 of those. Arion Simmons was hot. Emmanuel Allen with 2 threes in that first half. And then I just think the experience finally showed itself with ACU, a little bit more depth as far as veteran leadership than Jackson State, and that began to show itself. Jackson State just never gotten a rhythm offensively, at least shooting the basketball at just 33%, 0 for 9 from behind the three-point line. It's early in the season. Shooting takes a while. Defense obviously is ahead of offense, and Jackson State just hasn't found a rhythm offensively yet.
I'm just really excited to see how, all the different guys that we're going to see in the second half. This is invaluable minutes to open up the season, because this is going to show how much depth both teams are going to have as the season goes along.
We asked the question to both coaches, Coach Williams as well as Coach Tanner, do you have a set rotation? Is all of that scripted? And both of them were like, no, not really. We have an idea of who we want to play, but combinations on the floor for specific minutes, we really don't know quite yet, but we'll figure it out. The next 20 minutes will allow them to do that.
And we're going to take another break. We think the second half's coming up. We'll keep you updated here at Abilene, Texas.
Our early leaders sought a new campus on which to build a better future. Surely they could not have imagined how much their vision would grow. Today, Abilene Christian is recognized in national benchmarks for student success outcomes, research productivity, and athletic accomplishments. As we embark on next steps, we are uniquely poised to become one of the nation's premier Christian universities. We invite you to join us. We will climb higher together.
All right, we think we're ready to roll. Well, the clock's back at 0. So we thought we were back and ready to roll. And it says 1958. That's a good sign. We'll take small wins when we can get them. It says what it needs to say. Will we inbound it and play ball? We're getting the thumbs up. Tobias Cameron is going to hand it back to Damian Daniels. And that gets a little mini applause here in Moody Coliseum. Off we go with the second half tonight. It was a 15-0 run. That's a foul on Arion Simmons, I believe, diving after the loose ball. The 15-0 run, that was really the difference in the first half because it turned a 5-point game into a 20-point game, and then the teams traded baskets there in the final couple of seconds, and it's this 20-point advantage for ACU.
Brett Tanner already working his sideline over there. Start the second half with a turnover. Not the way he wants to start the second half. Again, 20 minutes to get better. Not a good start in the second half.
So they did call it the turnover first. It is a 3 at this end. Ken Evans Jr., the first triple for the Tigers tonight. And boy, do they need that.
And how quickly a game can turn. 0 for 9 in the first half, 1 for 1 here in the second half. It's a streaky basketball game.
Tobias Cameron, he had a nice first half, double-digit 10 points. Cameron Steele is looking for his second 3. Comes up just a bit short. Quick catch, Watson. Oh, stolen on the rebound and blocked out of bounds. Chase Adams, nice heads-up play to take it back to the Tigers.
Adams, when he's had a chance to penetrate with the dribble, he's demanded additional defense. He's been able to kick out, dish. Shot just missed there, but then an offensive rebound by Adams, the smallest guy on the floor.
Yeah, stands at 5'8", 144 pounds out of Chicago. 6 to shoot it. Watson. Oh, he was denied. He wanted a foul, didn't get it. Daniels, oh, they left him wide open. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what is happening? Steele had that tonight. Wow, that was, I don't even know. And then a blocking foul at this end on Daniels. That was a wild, unfortunate event right there for ACU. And now Daniels limping a little bit.
Yeah, went for the charge there, but boy, he is not putting much weight on that right knee. He checks out, and they'll get him checked out.
And he was so open at the other end.
Yeah.
2 minutes into this second half. Euro step through Evans Jr. He's got the first 5 of the second stanza.
Tigers working through Evans here in the second half. He's had a lot of touches. He's been able to get the ball up on the rim. Just like that, he's up to 13 tonight.
Dibba, a touch in the paint, couldn't get it. Couple of inside shots not going for ACU to start the second half. The lob, nothing there, out of bounds it goes. They were looking to try to get it to Mansell. Watson's pass too long.
Yeah, they went the lob past Mansell. I think nonverbal communication. There was a thought that Mansell would spin off his defender for a lob pass, but no spin, the pass goes out of bounds.
Jay-Sean Jackson, he's fouled, tried to go through the legs, dribbling. And then a whistle there afterward. Mo Williams didn't like that call. Shot clock goes back to 20 after the foul on Adams. And for Chase Adams, it is foul number 3.
First time a little tension in the building here as Jackson State off to a nice start second half.
Cameron knifes his way through. Allen, low catch, the 3 offline, and a foul after Mansell got the board. Cameron reaches in. His first foul.
That's his first of the game, team foul number 2.
The Boo Birds here in Moody. ACU's been shut out for the first 3 minutes.
Well, again, I would call this a nice backdoor cut.
And then denied.
Yeah, good defensive series. Again, this feels like the first time there's been a little tension, adversity in the building for the Wildcats. You play without Reggie Miller, Makai Morris, Corian Mason for the first time. Who's going to step up in the leadership role? We need a stop. We've got to stop the bleeding. Who's it going to be?
Boy, another miss from point blank. This time, Trace Young. Just being rushed a little bit. That ball deflected, and
Out of bounds on the Wildcats. Timeout.
we have a timeout on the floor. 15-point lead, but a good start to the second half for Jackson State. 15-point difference.
The community at ACU TV is exceptional. I think it's what really sets it apart from other universities and other organizations just on ACU's campus.
Working at ACU TV, I have gotten so much great experience in all different aspects, whether that was just taking on leadership roles or just learning new things and really just jumping in and being hands-on with equipment.
So the first time I walked in here, I was a high school senior, but I walked in and I was blown away by the production and the level of production ACU was putting on. And so to see the amount of effort being poured into a sporting event at ACU on ESPN was huge. And so to see that as a high school senior sold it for me. I was like, yes, I'm going to be at ACU because this is where I want to be. This is where I can excel.
Coming to college and to know that you're making content for ESPN, that's unreal for students to come in and be able to get hands-on experience that quickly. It's a blessing.
I would have never thought that I would be doing things I'm doing now. If you said I was going to be on ESPN Plus and working with professional reporters and seeing all the stuff that goes into that, I would have called you crazy because I didn't think that freshmen got that opportunity. But here at ACU, everyone gets that opportunity, and it's awesome. And I think that's what sets us apart from other universities. At a young age, we allow people to get that experience, and you only get better from there.
Really not a lot of students across the world get to be able to do what we do here at ACU. If you want to be a journalism major, you want to be in sports broadcasting, this is the place for you. But you get the tools of what it's going to be like. You know, you want to work in Fox Sports, ESPN, those major networks one day, this is where you translate it. This is where you get that exact same experience. This is first class.
Well, they're having fun here in Moody Coliseum. 45-30, Jackson State has scored the first 5 of the second half. And Brett Tanner, the head coach of ACU, he was animated on the sideline during that break.
Well, I was about to say, these guys are having fun. Coach Brett Tanner currently is not. Zach, in my time around ACU, with he as the head coach, that is by far the most animated I have seen Brett Tanner. That was his timeout that he called. He called it. It's a wake-up call. Okay, the festivities are fun tonight. There's all sorts of energy in the building. We still have a job to do between the white lines. That was the conversation to his Wildcat team. Zach Daniels back on the floor here. Damian went down a minute ago. Did something to his right leg, but he's back on the floor.
Allen, well short on the 3. Still physical under there. And Daniels also has 3 fouls for ACU. Evans Jr. Offensive rebound for Mansell. A one-handed floater. That is offline from Watson. 7 points, but 3 for 8 shooting for Watson tonight. Simmons looking. Cameron posting up with this small lineup. Daniels only shot at 19% from 3 a year ago. He travels here. Gives it back as you look at the donors that made this building possible. Timeout in Abilene.
Guys, there's so many people that have been waiting for the renovations of Moody Coliseum to complete. And I think the prize goes to the ACU fans for being most excited about tonight's home season opener. From ACU, from hosting Moody Madness, a celebration new chapter of ACU basketball, to the athletics department putting emphasis on fan engagement by hosting a revamping and designated student section. I think it is safe to say that this Wildcat country is ready to ride. Gentlemen, back to you.
Joseph, thank you. Yeah, Moody Madness. Last Thursday night, it was kind of their way of kicking off this arena to get it ready for the basketball season. They had a lot of fun. They're still having fun here tonight as we showcase this building all throughout opening night. But meanwhile, on the floor, Mansell at the line. That's now 6 in a row to start the half for Jackson State. They've only made 1 of their last 7 from the field. And that second free throw no good for Mansell, who's just a 41% foul shooter a year ago. But Jackson State back in this a little bit, down by 14.
They forced 3 turnovers here in the second half. Wildcats are 0 for 7 shooting the basketball. Just much more energy, it feels like, for the Tigers. A little sense of urgency on the defensive end. I thought a lot of things came really easy for ACU offensively in the half-court set there in the first half. Jackson State's ramped it up defensively.
One thing you and I were talking about during the timeout, as we have a foul at this end, and it's on Ken Evans Jr., was the lack of transition game in terms of points. There hasn't been a lot of that. It's been a lot more reliant on the half court.
For both teams, ACU has 2 fast break points, 0 for Jackson State.
Off the hands of Badial, gets it back. Looking for his first points of his Abilene Christian career. Couldn't get it to go. 5.5 minutes in. Just a 6-0 second half. Evian Hunt, the freshman, number 5 out of Jackson, Mississippi. Euro step through Ken Evans Jr. All-purpose stud for the Tigers.
Well, you better get ready. When he gets hot, he can light it up in a hurry. Up to 15, 7 of those in the second half.
He is just a part of that Jackson State brethren. His whole family went to Jackson State. Continues on that legacy. This ball's batted around a million times, and it'll stay at this end with ACU.
It'll be ACU ball.
But give credit to these Tigers. They could have, when you get hit with a 15-0 right hook, you've got to be able to get back up, and they're showing us a lot of heart here on opening night. In a tough environment. Hunter Jack Madden trying to get points on the board for the Wildcats here in the second half. Unable to do so. Jamie Mitchell Jr. Number 45, he's got it, looks at it for 3.
That's a good possession, just didn't finish. Good ball movement that drive.
Guy short-armed that one, but he got behind everybody. It'll stay at this end. The ball really just refuses to go in at this end for ACU. Subs in for the Tigers. Watson and Jones.
Zach, I don't think we've seen this combination of 5 on the floor yet for ACU tonight. Who's the scorer going to be out of this group?
10 to shoot it. Hunter Jack Madden, he's got a 3. Simmons has one too. Just 4 on a shot clock, found a little space. No, put back is a foul. And Jackson's gonna shoot 2. This is a swarming defense right now for Jackson State.
Boy, it is. And You know, Arion, the strength of his game is not off the dribble, creating his own shot. Had to take the shot there with just 4 left on the shot clock. Jackson, a nice job of crashing the offensive glass on the backside and able to get to the free throw line. And maybe it's here from the stripe. It is. That breaks a long scoring drought for the Wildcats.
First points of the second half come at the 13:05 mark. Quite the drought for Abilene Christian. They were shooting up over 50%, 55% at halftime. They're now down to 39% shooting from the field for the game. And Jackson hits 2 big ones.
Oh for 12 in the second half from the field. But again, this team, the Wildcats, it's on the defensive end. That is their bread and butter.
A little bit of a bump. Yeah, it looked like it from the backside for Simmons as they tried to get it to Zeke Cook.
Foul called on Arion Simmons. That's his third of the
Simmons called for his 3rd personal. So your veterans, Simmons and Daniels, each have 3. Simmons leaves the game. And they were probably going to limit his minutes anyway tonight, coming off the concussion.
And
but 3 fouls will do that.
And Zach, speaking of that, some people wondering where's Joe Pleasant tonight. Of course, the star of ACU in the big game against Texas, who transferred to Wichita State and has now transferred back. Of course, he is in some concussion protocol from a few weeks ago. As you get a good look at Joe, he looks so much better in purple.
He does.
No offense to our friends in Wichita, but man, Joe looks good in purple.
Allen rattles out a 3. ACU 7 for 22 from distance. Now Pleasant, the NCAA tournament hero from 2 years ago.
Jackson State's been much more disciplined in running half-court offense here in the second half.
The drive, Watson open, buries one. He gets his first 3 to fall. He's in double digits with 10.
And now a little pressure, extended pressure here. Again, just to keep ACU out of a rhythm offensively. Just going to eat up some shot clock in the backcourt. A few less seconds to run their half-court set.
Cameron's been the offensive weapon tonight. Cameron steal, that's no good. Jackson State, they were telling us, we want to have a quick pace. We're not necessarily running. And they turn it over in transition that time. Madden lost it. Nope, it's a kick. It takes us to a timeout. We've got a game, an 11-point difference. Game on in the second half, halfway through it. Well, looking at some of that history here at Moody Coliseum, decorating the wall with some of their Division I All-Conference and spectacular talent, Parker Wentz and Jalen Franklin and Jaron Lewis and Peyton Ricks, Colton Cole, the big 7-footer from a couple of years ago. A lot to love about this building as they decorate and honor the history of what made it possible. Well, how about this second half? This thing was a 20-point difference. It's now an 11-point game. Jackson State outscoring ACU 11-2, and the Wildcats have yet to make a field goal.
Well, I told you, it feels just like the twilight zone almost. 45 in the first half and 7 3-pointers made in the first half. Here we are, 8.5 minutes in the second half. 0 for 14 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. And still a double-digit lead. It's the most frustrating double-digit lead I've seen in a long, long time.
No kidding. Jackson State in it.
Well, you talk about a momentum shift here if you can get back within single digits with still double-digit minutes to play. Big possession here for the Tigers.
And it back to Adams, and it's tapped out of bounds.
Out of bounds on the Wildcats. It'll stay with the Tigers.
They got Jamarcus Jones, the senior, number 31 out there too. Calling him really the number 6 guy. First man off the bench for Mo Williams. Rise and fire.
Oh, it's clutch.
On the baseline is Watson.
Hand in the face, clutch. Single-digit game, still 11 to go.
Here we go. We got a game on opening night. It was 45-25, 13-2 here in the second half. Who's going to score the ball for ACU? Fighting through Cameron. Jones didn't like that. And instead it might actually be on Watson. It's Gabe Watson who came over and helped defense.
It's just Tobias getting strong down by the block. Pivot foot, faces up, hands all over the place. Just go up strong and see what can happen. He's able to get contact, get back to the free throw line.
You got Tobias Cameron, who shot at 77% at the line a year ago. Oh, back iron. Jackson and Simmons, and remember, Arion Simmons, 3 fouls, returns to the lineup.
Jackson. It's a big lineup. Jackson running the point. This will be a big lineup, especially defensively for the Wildcats.
Cameron probably plays the 2 at 6'5", because you got the 6'4" Ali Dibba out there too.
4 across here for the Tigers.
They got Zeke Cook in the paint. He was at the foul line, rather extended. 14 to shoot. Fade away. Adams, no good.
See how deep in a shot clock Wildcats get before a shot. Good pass.
What a find, Cameron. How do you see Simmons? Wow.
I was afraid Tobias was going to get up off his feet. He didn't jump stop. I was afraid he was going to get up in no man's land, but he saw his teammate Simmons. Good find down inside. First field goal of the second half comes right at the 10-minute mark.
Kick by Dibba right there. And ACU with his 12-point lead. Let's send it over to Connor Mullins.
ACU just scored their first points of the half, nearly 8 minutes into this half, with their only points coming from the free throw line. JSU's picking up the pace and held ACU to 0 field goals this half. We knew the offense for ACU was going to be an issue with the losses of Reggie Miller, Makai Morris, and Corian Mason. Coach Williams, the nation's defense is working, and adjustments will need to be made on the ACU end for them to get back into this game. Guys, back to you.
Well, Connor, thank you very much. Trace Young had some authority there. That's a field goal for the visitors. My goodness. Bring it down to Hammer, the redshirt senior out of Kentucky.
Offensive rebound and a putback.
A bump here at this end on Young.
That's one of the keys for Coach Williams tonight. Own the glass, but more importantly, the offensive glass. Tigers lead that category 6-4, and that's why the offensive glass, second chance opportunity. Nice dish, and look at the finish. Trace Young throwing it down with 2 hands.
And one of the things Mo Williams was telling us, that we want to get into the moment of the game. There might have been a little bit of nerves with the way this place was going. Daniels free release. There's the field goal. ACU's got their first from the field, or rather the second from the field in the second half. And I think Jackson State got caught up. This place was going crazy. They've really settled into this game now.
Much more disciplined again offensively. Good find by Daniels, no help defense, easy layup for Damien.
Hedge from Steele, but he's going to be called for the foul. His second of the game.
His second of the game. Team foul number 6 on the Wildcats. Fouls on the floor.
Tigers have found their offensive rhythm. Watson and Evans, both the hot hand, both in double figures, both on the floor for the first time here in the last few minutes.
Watson, step back, no, put back is in. Ken Evans Jr. has been very impressive tonight.
And back-to-back possessions, offensive rebounds leading to putbacks, second chance point opportunities. Watson with 12, Evans with 15.
Blocking foul. Watson hits the deck. And yeah, Evans Jr., he averaged 4.5 rebounds a year ago. He was able to get that putback. There's a look at the defensive foul there on Watson.
Foul called on the Tigers on Gabe Watson. That's his third of the game.
He's got 3.
Foul number 6.
12 points, second leading scorer, 3 fouls. Stays on the floor at the 8:15 mark. A key few minutes coming up here. 10-point difference. Cameron knifing through, late whistle. It's a foul on Jackson State.
Foul called on number 10, Chase Adams.
On Chase Adams. I didn't see it, if I'm going to be honest. They're way late with 4 on a shot clock.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Foul puts the Wildcats in the bonus for the
And that's team foul number 7. I did not see it as well, Zach.
For the Wildcats, number 20.
I don't know if it came, I mean, because Cameron, his shot wasn't close.
Yeah, it was a bailout for ACU because Tobias was well off balance when he took that shot.
And so it was a foul on the floor. And so the 1-and-1, no good on the front end. So no harm for Jackson State. Watson splits the defense and finishes. He lost it there for a second, and now a stoppage. Watson may have got poked in the eye. Sends us to a timeout. Under 8 to go. 8-point game. That's the first NCAA tournament game from 2019 at ACU.
Our early leaders sought a new campus on which to build a better future. Surely they could not have imagined how much their vision would grow. Today, Abilene Christian is recognized in national benchmarks for student success outcomes, research productivity, and athletic accomplishments. As we embark on next steps, we are uniquely poised to become one of the nation's premier Christian universities. We invite you to join us. We will climb higher together.
I always dreamed of doing something that would make a difference, and so getting as much knowledge as possible was important to me. I love the fact that you can dream a new reality and then see it come true with hard work. Today, I know I'm making a difference, and a big part of seeing my dream come true was when I got my master's at ACU.
Get your undergraduate or graduate degree online at Abilene Christian University.
Back here at Moody Coliseum with an 8-point ball game. After that made basket by Gabe Watson, they went to the review to see if there should be some type of flagrant foul there. Look at a contact from Hunter Jack Madden to the face of Gabe Watson.
Yeah, it looks like incidental contact. Well, it's a tough shot to take across the face, but Matt just blocking, bringing the extra hand down, and the officials wanted to take a look at it, but I think incidental contact is where it is. But 8-point game, Jackson State on a roll. I tell you, and again, Zach, we've talked about nights like tonight. Here we are, game number 1. Yeah, win-loss is important, but are we getting better? What can we take away from nights like tonight? Obviously, ACU right now, the takeaway is the way they played in the first half. For Jackson State right now, it's how do you respond after a terrible first half? And Jackson State has responded, a 20-point deficit now down to 8, and still plenty of basketball to steal one away here in Abilene tonight.
And if this game were to have been played in quarters, right, Jackson State and ACU were pretty close in the first kind of quarter of the game, first 10 minutes. Second 10 minutes, all ACU. Third 10 minutes, all Jackson State, and they're back in it with this 8-point game. Simmons, that looked aggressive there from number 23, the lead back to 10.
That's 6'5", 265. You get some momentum rolling downhill. It's going to be tough to stop. Ariana Seam down the right side of the paint. Easy layup for 2.
Trace Young, Kentucky kid. Oh, feeds it in. Bobbled, stolen away from Mansell, and then stolen back. Chaos lob, layup, they got it. Lobbed it up to Young. He was able to get it to go. Back to an 8-point difference. Entertaining finish coming up. Cameron, jump ball.
Jump ball.
Arrow to Jackson State.
Jackson State.
I think that's the right call.
Take a look at the SWAC coaches poll. This is coming in. This is a good league. Texas Southern predicted to win the league. Jackson State there in 7th. And then it's going to be a good schedule. And Jackson State's home opener is going to be on the January 7th against Alabama State. So that's going to be a tough league with the teams that play really good schedules in the non-conference.
Coach Williams knows, and he told us it's it's a bid league, automatic bid league. That's who's going to get in out of the SWAC. He wants his team to be well prepared when SWAC rolls around. First 14 on the road, 5 of those current top 25 teams all on the road. They'll be battle tested and ready.
Daniels, no, might have slipped, and now a foul at this end. So you got Watson, who made it a 6-point game. They get the stop at the other end, and now free throws are coming. After the foul on Simmons, it's his 4th. So that was the Watson basket. Not sure how that went in. And now to the line is Trace Young.
When I think scorers just know how to score, you know it.
Amen to that. Second leading scorer returning from last year for the Tigers.
Number 2, Jason Jackson.
He's fun to watch at 6'8". Spent the last 2 years at Alabama State. Was at Wyoming all the way back 5 years ago. John A. Logan College, a stop there. So now it is 4th school. 5-point game. Cameron blocking foul. Cameron looked like he may have slipped there for a second, but he was bumped. Bonus free throws coming.
Get a look at it here, just going down the baseline. Yeah, contact. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Spice to go to the line in the bonus.
This is a 24-9 second half, and we only have 6 minutes left. This is a bizarre second half.
Well, you talk about a tale of 2 halves.
Cameron hits.
All
back up 6.
Excuse me, Zach. All 5 on the floor here for ACU veterans. It's experience. You know, we made the comment right as the second half started, hey, maybe an opportunity to see some different combinations on the floor. That's when there was a 20-point spread on the scoreboard. Now that it's back to a 2-3 possession type game, Coach Tanner's going with his veterans. He's put experience on the floor. Try to keep the Tigers at arm's length.
Timeout, Mo Williams for the sideline for Jackson State. Just under 6 minutes to go. Well, we looked at the SWAC. How about the WAC, where ACU resides? Grand Canyon picked to win the league, defending champion and tournament champion New Mexico State, who beat UConn in the NCAA tournament last year, is picked 2nd. ACU picked 4th, right behind their nemesis and rival, Stephen F. Austin.
Boy, right in the mix of it, and I think part of that is what a great run that the Wildcats made last year in Las Vegas in the WAC tournament, falling to New Mexico State. Of course, Stephen F. Austin, who we've seen and has been around for a long, long time. And then Coach Drew out in Phoenix with Grand Canyon. You know that Grand Canyon will bring a quality program to the floor each and every night, but really all the way top to bottom. The WAC's going to be fun. They'll all come to Abilene here as, it goes out west. The majority of the trips go out west. Those teams will also make their way here to Texas, too.
Yeah, Abilene Christian will play Grand Canyon twice. They'll host them in late January before heading out to Phoenix. And then 2 additions to the league in Southern Utah and UT Arlington. Seven-point difference, under 6 to play. Out of the timeout for Jackson State. 5 on the shot clock. The 3 offline from Young. And then Jackson, oh, it went off of him. Oh, it's going to stay at this end, and Jackson State will get it back.
Well, this won't go as an offensive rebound, but it will go as an extra possession here for Jackson State off the turnover.
5.5 to go. Tigers down 9 despite outscoring ACU by 13 in the second half. Daniels got his hand on that. Now it's loose. Jackson State tried to call timeout. They did get, well, wait a second. Jump ball. One official signaled timeout, the other said jump ball.
Yeah, the official on the near side granted the timeout, but I believe the jump ball was given before the timeout was granted.
Daniels is hurt. Damian Daniels limping off the floor. You see number 1. Gonna go check on him again.
Fans, get on your feet, make some noise for today's ACU.
So they go jump ball, the arrow to Abilene Christian. A 7-point lead and a possession with 5:23. Opening night living up to expectations. Simmons lost it. Turns it over. ACU gives it away for the 13th time. And a look, it's Jones, almost got the roll. Almost got a fast break point. We haven't seen many of those.
And I was about to say the same thing. We have not seen many transition opportunities for each team. A 3-on-2 run there for the Tigers, and they take advantage of it as they push. And when the ball's in the hands of Adams, the point guard, the Tigers can go. Good dish. Jones at the line, he'll shoot 2.
And Adams got his 4th steal of the night on that possession. And off the back iron for Jones.
Winner of the game for ACU, Hunter Jack.
Marcus Jones, basically the backup at the 4 position for Jackson State. They're going to rely on him a lot off the bench. Played at Southern, Pearl River Community College. It's in his 2nd year with the Tigers. Hits 1 out of 2 to make it a 6-point game.
What comes down here, don't be in a hurry, don't force anything. Work your offense. Find you a good-looking, high-percentage shot.
They got Steele posting up. They're going to get it to number 5. Turns around, couldn't get it. Smooth Adams, yes. 4-point game. Chase Adams, his first field goal of the night. Couldn't have come at a better time.
Again, that was a good look for Steele on the last trip.
Cameron, oh, kind of a turnaround 3. No good.
That's a quick shot in your offense. Cameron's had luck from behind the three-point line tonight, but that's a quick look in your offense.
Watson, no. Second chance. Oh, and the pass too high. Mo Williams went to go get it. I think that's just instinct from the former NBA player. He wants to go get the ball.
And he's smiling, but I know he's frustrated with his team. You're within 4. You've got a second chance off the offensive rebound that Watson gets. A new shot clock, a chance to reset. And a not fundamental one-handed over-the-head pass sails out of bounds on the far sideline. Coach Williams smiling, but I know he's frustrated a little bit on the inside with the execution of that set.
Jackson, big shot, no. Oh, kind of off the head. And a second opportunity, a fresh 20 for the Wildcats. Cameron, another look, yes! Gigantic three! Maybe the shot of the night for ACU.
Let's clutch.
Loose ball and a takeaway.
Now this becomes a huge possession. Cameron, a big shot.
Cameron almost brought the house down.
We can't fault that shot. Just a little bit of momentum inching back on the Wildcat side. He shot it early in the shot clock, but a wide open look and a chance for back-to-back threes. You can't fault the shot.
Evans Jr. on the attack. No. This defense is locking up these last few possessions. Hunter Jack Madden. Lead back to 9 for Abilene Christian. Cameron. Timeout, Jackson State. Well, this place is losing its mind as the lead goes back to 11 for Abilene Christian with 2.5 to go here. They're on a 7-0 run as at ACU.
Well, Tobias Cameron gets his start as he rattles in a three-pointer, his 4th triple of the night, and then it becomes transition. Hunter Jack Madden, the layup on the left side. Tobias Cameron, a steal at the half-court logo in the center of the floor, and an easy, uncontested layup. And just like that, a 7-0 run has stretched this thing back out to double digits. The talking point here for the Tigers in film study, just execution of their half-court offense. The last 3 sets have not been pleasant, and it's allowed ACU to take advantage of what had come down to a 4-point spread. It's swelled up just back to 11 just like that.
Cameron matching his career high with 18 points. A huge part of this. I mean, ACU's only scored 18 in the second half. It's been a very low scoring half, just 45 total points. But Abilene Christian back up by double digits. And another turnover. The 19th of the game for Jackson State.
Tough angle on an entry pass. Trying to get Mansell one-on-one down on the left block, but tough angle on the entry pass. Adams throws it away. It's turnover number 19. Again, one of the keys tonight for Coach Williams was, he said, quote unquote, no turnovers, and then he told us, well, 10 to 12 is what I mean by that, but 19 now tonight for the Tigers.
And 4 in the last 2 minutes for Jackson State. That's what this defense does. Number 1 in turnovers forced over the last 2 seasons in all of college basketball.
Excuse me, Zach, chance to shorten the game here, milk some shot clock, an 11-point lead.
10 to shoot. Simmons. Under 2 to go. And he points in a hurry, not gonna get it. Charge. Taken by Cameron.
Well, it's a tough call.
Foul on Watson, and it's his 5th. He's fouled out of the game.
And I think they call that as Watson just used the off arm, the forearm, the left forearm to try to generate some space. He'll get called for his 5th personal. Nice night tonight to start the 2022-23 campaigns. Watson finishes with 16, but his night's come to an end. Again, Zach, here I think a chance to burn some shot clock, burn some game clock.
Loose. Cameron comes up with it. He's the hero tonight. Steal. Allen with a yo board. That's a big one.
And you can see Brett Tanner there on the screen. Get it out to the half-court line. Let's run some clock.
Oh, and now a turnover. Jackson State's got to go quickly. No, goaltend. Goaltend on Tobias Cameron, and that basket will count.
Yeah, I think that ball might have hit the backboard before Tobias got a piece of it.
We're under 2 minutes. It is reviewable. they'll take a look to see if that was indeed goaltending. This 9-point difference is where it stands. Coming up, ACU on the road to Texas A&M on Friday night on SEC Network Plus. Big Power 5 matchup. They're back here on the 15th for McMurray, crosstown rival from the Division III ranks. And then their tournament in Vegas, Wright State and Weber State. Should be a lot of fun for the Wildcats out there in Las Vegas, which is also the site of the WAC tournament coming up in March.
It's a pretty good one down in College Station last year, if I remember.
That's right. Went to overtime. Yep. Abilene Christian losing that game to Buzz Williams and the Aggies.
So you go from Mo Williams to Buzz Williams.
Yeah, how
about
that?
Opposing head coaches.
Coach Tanner telling us that game with Buzz Williams, they had decided to play it 2 days after playing him last year. He said, hey, we want to do that again. And sure enough, they're heading back to College Station. They are still going to the review to see if that was indeed a goaltend. Right now, as it stands, it's a 9-point game. They count that basket for Mitchell.
And you mentioned that. I think the Power Fives love quality mid-major games with what ACU provides. And then a quality mid-major here between Jackson State and ACU. And Coach Tanner, Coach Williams just had some mutual friends that allowed them to set up a game like tonight.
Well, let's talk about the Jackson State schedule and send it over to Connor Mullins.
Easier after tonight with 11 more road games before heading back home on January 7th against Alabama State. The Tigers' schedule is a gauntlet featuring road matchups against Michigan, Indiana, SMU, TCU, Mississippi State, Texas Tech, and Alabama. Head coach Mo Williams has a philosophy of playing these types of opponents in non-conference, and his guys are going to be battle-tested heading in to SWAC play. Guys, back to you.
Connor, thank you very much. That basket does count off the goaltend. ACU going to use possession. Up by 9, under a minute now. Yeah, that schedule's insane, by the way, for Jackson State. 14 to start on the road. 3 on the shot clock. It is going the other way. It is an offensive foul on Arion Simmons. He has fouled out for ACU. 13 points, 26 minutes coming off of that concussion, and Simmons fouls out.
You think both teams will have a little discussion and film study in the next few days?
Oh my goodness. Be a lot to talk about.
Hey, a lot of positives for both teams. Let's not take away. Great first half for ACU. The grit and determination of Jackson State in the second half. But every day it's about getting better, and both teams have allowed themselves a little bit of a gap in order to get better. There will be some conversation and film study for both teams.
That showed me a lot about what Jackson State's made of when Mo Williams comes over to this program. Backdoor cut, somehow got to Evans Jr., and he has had himself a game. 19 points to lead the Tigers. Final 30 seconds, steal, yes, got it.
Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the tally mark will go on the left side in the win column here for the Wildcats.
One more exclamation point. Allen is going to shoot. Uh-oh. Ooh, he's grabbing that knee.
Foul called on the Tigers. Number 2.
The last thing you need to have happen.
That's his second of the game. Team foul.
Emmanuel Allen, who has had knee issues in the past, is going to shoot free throws for ACU.
Emmanuel Allen for 2.
Boy, not what you like to see
Not
on opening
at all.
night. Of course, Damian Daniels already left with a similar reaction down to around the knee.
Yeah, so Allen has been banged up a little bit. Daniels has been banged up a little bit. 17 seconds. No good on the free throws.
Manuel putting a little bit more weight on as he goes back down to the defensive end.
That three rattles out, and that should do it. Abilene Christian opens up the new building with a victory.
And that's the end of the game. Your final score, ACU 65, Jackson
65-56 the win for Abilene Christian. It wasn't always pretty, but that is an opening night win for ACU.
Well, at this part of the year, you want quality competition. I think both teams walk away on a night like tonight. We got quality competition. We got something on film now with a live game. Things to work on for both teams. But boy, what a great night for the Wildcats.
Once again, we want to thank
A 9-point victory where ACU only scores 20 points in the second half. It takes a little bit of everybody, but ACU grinds out a win, and that Jackson State team is going to be a tough out this season. I'm excited about the future of the Tigers.
Yeah, they'll be battle tested when the SWAC conference play comes around. They'll make a run in the SWAC. Don't be surprised if you see a team like Jackson State turn it around that fast and they're in your March Madness bracket. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I think they've got the opportunity to be that good this year.
How good was Tobias Cameron tonight? He really would be considered a player of the game with the way that he performed for ACU.
I think so, and you need a guy his sixth year in the program to step up and be your veteran leader, and he was. 18 points tonight, 5 of 8 from the field, 4 of 7 from behind the three-point line. He did the majority of that in the first half when ACU built their 20-point halftime spread. And man, what great shooting from Tobias as he was able to put up the 18 points. A career high, tied a career high what he set last year, puts up 18 in the season opener this year.
Abilene Christian goes to 1-0. They lost their first few a season ago. They open up Moody Coliseum. And Andy, I guess that's kind of the thing I really want to focus on and ask about is this place is going to be one of a kind, and how special it was to open it up tonight for Abilene Christian.
And we saw something special tonight with a great crowd, great atmosphere, electric atmosphere. This thing has an opportunity to be special, and I hope the people of ACU will continue to support Moody Coliseum and the Wildcats who play in Moody Coliseum, because this has an opportunity to be something really, really special this season.
Abilene Christian wins it by 9, and they are getting everybody on the floor to celebrate this one with a big old picture, it looks like. I mean, they're bringing students and everything.
Yeah, history tonight. Have to document history.
That's right.
Let's get everybody on the floor.
How long is that going to take to get everybody out there?
I did not anticipate rushing the floor tonight.
I was not ready for that. Brett Tanner immediately went over to the student section and said, come on, let's get everybody on the floor. Look at this. Incredibly special. There's that man front and center. Wow. This is unique. Not quite a court storm.
And even a deer in the picture. Yeah. We must be in West Texas, right?
Yeah, amen to that. What a night. ACU 1-0. Celebrating a home win over a good Jackson State team. 65-56. In a second half in which ACU was outscored 31-20. Both teams shot 40% for the night. The defense took over down to stretch. ACU closed it out strong. And we are going to be joined by the player of the game who matched his career high with 18 points tonight, Tobias Cameron. Welcome, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I want to. We'll get to the game in a second. I want to start with How fun was this tonight to be back in the building that you haven't been in 2 years?
Oh, it was awesome, especially knowing that the last time we were in this building we lost. And so we knew we had to come back with a chip on our shoulder. Really excited, glad, really just thrilled with how many people came out, showed out tonight, really fed us energy, and I feel like that's the reason why we did go on a slump in the half, but then that's the reason why we came back as well, just because of the energy of the crowd.
Hey, you talk about how a game can have ups and downs without question. In the second half, they make that big run, but you have to be able to close out a game. How'd you guys do that tonight?
We just had a lockdown on defense. We didn't score much, and so we had to fall back on our defense, and we were pretty shaky inside of that second half. But I'm glad we brought it back, and I'm glad that we started hitting some shots towards the end of the second.
Well, and you started hitting some shots too. 18 points tonight. How was it feeling out there offensively for you?
I was good. All my teammates just kept telling me, be confident in my shot, keep being aggressive. And so I just did my best, and they kept looking for me as well, so I thank them for that.
What can you take away from this game here tonight to jumpstart you as the season begins?
This team, man, we're a bunch of fighters. Everyone's a junkyard dog, and that's one thing that coach has just been putting on us, is be that dog. Nothing's easy. You got to earn it here.
Congratulations on an opening night win.
Thank you
Tobias Cameron, our player of the game, 18 points tonight as Abilene Christian wins it 65-56. This has been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. Zach, Andy, the whole gang saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.